to my knowledge, there's no real national statistic that is 100% true, but that is definitely a number that you hear often. You know, it is in the millions.
Yeah, it's about somewhere in the high 2 millions, unfortunately. I mean, it's up there. I've heard 3 million, I've heard 2.5. I mean, but it's hard to track. I mean, you're going to shelters across the country, but certainly that's reasonable. And the shelters I know of personally, 40 to 50, 100 animals a week were pretty much coming in, having to leave, you know. And we filled up the cages, obviously, and make the best we could for the most adoptable animals, but we had to make tough decisions. Some great adoptable animals we were putting down because there's just not capacity. You can only adopt out so many, but if you're getting in that kind of volume, there's just nothing you can do. Same thing in Florida and Alabama and in most parts of the country.
She sure is a cutie. In fact, Sadie the Collie Husky mix is so adorable, this guy spent his last dime flying halfway across the country to adopt her. Only problem, he had no money left to get home.
I just had faith that it was going to work out.
I rescued Sadie from a kill shelter in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I took a one-way ticket to rescue her because I didn't have a lot of cash, and me and Sadie traveled back to Maine taking ride shares. We got stranded in Michigan at some point, and somehow the news station found us, and we ended up on Inside Edition eventually, and they flew us the rest of the way home. Yeah, so I guess I've always been an animal person. I grew up with dogs, and I guess rescuing Sadie, I realized a lot about shelters that I didn't know before, and I started doing a lot of research about what was happening in the United States. And the purpose of our film is to help educate people that might not know about the overpopulation crisis happening in the United States. I think this film is going to reach a lot of people as we go on the trail. We're going to be able to engage in a lot of communities and press and media stations. So as we go on the Appalachian Trail, we're going to be veering off and engaging a lot of people. So I think the way we're doing this is going to be really fun, and we're going to be able to engage people in a different way and hopefully get a lot of people involved in animal rights.
Education around why to spay and neuter, education around what your shelter does for your community is definitely another really big component of that. And you know, I think just kind of getting out like you're doing and talking about what shelters do and advocating for their needs is really important. So more people to kind of step up and say, you know, this is what your local shelter does, this is what your local shelter needs. These are the animals it sees, these are the animals that need homes, you know. People to kind of recognize that and speak for them. Animals can't speak for themselves, you know, so it definitely takes us as a community, both locally and nationally, to kind of speak up and talk about you know, what we can do for them and how we can help them.
That if we can educate the kids, then obviously they turn into the young adults, they turn into the new pet owners of the world, and then that'll help the problem. Will it go away? Probably not. I mean, certainly not in my lifetime, but hopefully in the next generation's lifetime it'll at least curb. If we can cut the number in half, that's 1.5 million animals we'd be saving. I mean, that's a huge number.
The most important thing we can do to help the cause is increase awareness and education to the euthanasia crisis happening in the United States.
And that's exactly what we plan on doing with this documentary. It's definitely going to be a big challenge, but we feel like if it wasn't a challenge, then we wouldn't be doing it right. We plan on starting the hike next month, and we are really excited to produce this documentary for everyone.
In order to change the pace of the current euthanasia crisis, we are in need of your financial assistance in order to make our film worth watching, as well as distributing it to the largest audience possible.